Hello, so in this tutorial, part 4 of our making Minecraft learning core, we'll be covering how to add different block types, as well as adding cave generation. Some cave generation not super great, but we'll of course be improving it. This is the thing I came up with. This is exactly what we're doing. As I always make a tutorial beforehand, then recode it for the tutorial. This makes sure it all works perfectly. So obviously we won't have first person camera or anything. We will have like this kind of terrain generation, of course with breaking blocks. Unseen blocks if they're not spawned into you, dig to them, and it's basically what you would expect with cave generation. Maybe not the type of cave generation you're expecting, but if it isn't, then of course we can always change the numbers around to make it be how you want it to be. Obviously this is a bit more cavernous style, but by having different numbers in here and perhaps even trying different noise types instead of just using proto noise. If you feel like trying to explode in rooms, something like that, then of course you can use that and yeah, get it to work hopefully. Anyways, into the tutorial. So back in here, we have a long ways to go from where we currently are. So let's get right into it. First, we want to modify our blocks script to have the new blocks that we'll be adding. So we need the blocks for grass, dirt, and stone for now. We'll be adding ores in the future, but we don't need them now. Let's add in this, and let's change the material to grass. So I'm going to create a template for each of them. Grass, dirt, and stone. Actually, I didn't. What am I doing? I messed up. Create information for this should be good. Right, and then we should add the grass here. That should still function. Grass, okay. And then for stone. Now we add them to the block script. Blocks, and we come up to here. Add these custom properties. And then of course we add them to the here. Oops, online. So this should probably, if you want to organize it, let's put it there. And then you would want to have the same for grass and dirt. And I've had to go into the main script and do some stuff in here to make it actually function. And main script or generator, sorry. Generator. So what we want to do, we gotta make some recording actually. Okay, so we have lots of modifications we have to make. So we're gonna leave this as is. Main part of the changing is this part, so let's move it down. Okay, so we're gonna keep this part here and start modifying this part. So for z equals max down to height. This is where we do with modifications. Let's make this big. And we can just move this as well. So you use Vim keybinds, let's apply to use those. So Now we have that. If z equals height minus 1, so if the z value is basically the top layer, then we also want to check to make sure there's no cave openings here. So if there's a cave opening, then it's going to be error. Otherwise, it's going to be... Actually, let's add in local cave, make cave scale 0.1, and local cave spawn rate of 0.3. So if we're noise code noise function of x plus 99, y plus 99, and we're also including the z in here as well. So for the z value, because we want to make sure that there's going to be a block here. If the noise is above a certain range, then there'll be grass. Otherwise, if it's below, basically randomness, but so it follows a kind of randomness that actually I guess it's not just me, but kind of like how we have the mountains, they spawn in. You can see how the paranoids works just by looking at how the roach animation works. I'm not really sure how to explain, but basically like that. So then let's go g.blocks of xyz equals block info equals block info of grass and is spawn equals to blocks of xyz. So if it's above the cave spawn rate, then we'll do that. Otherwise, it's gonna be error. Actually, it should be false. So you haven't spawned it yet. So let's do that, and then else if z greater than equal to height minus 3. So this is if the height is 2 or 3 blocks below the start. So 1 and 2, so 1 and 2 layers below the grass layer, it will spawn something. We'll repeat the same process we did up there. So if the noise of, let's call this, so grass, we'll do dirt, and we'll do the same here. Else if I can only do is z, so it's max down. So if it's ground layer, then we want to have a, just want to have stone if it's on the ground layer, so you don't want to have holes in the road. You can make a smaller one if you want, like bedrock or something, whatever you want to do, but don't matter too much. And you replace this with stone. I think this should now be working. I guess we can test this out just to be sure. I'm just looking through this in the corner so it all looks correct. I think it should work now. The issue is that I don't have a stone. Now it should be working. After looking through the code, it seems the issue is two small things. The spawned should go to false, and these should be Z instead of Y. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this should be working, and we now have, well, cube generation. The issues we have the what set this going to be. We can set this to negative two things actually is causing to have so much cave. That's a bit nicer. And of course, you can play around with these values. At the main script, let's set this to $50 and $50. We'll spawn inside the blocks. That shouldn't be an issue. You can just pick out him in the system that we coded in the last tutorial. And we now have a nice world generation going on. As you can see, there's cave entrances that go down. This is not like super insane looking caves or anything, but it's decent. What you can do is you can set the cave scale to like 0.02 or 0.03 and keep spawn rate like 4. We can just play around with it and at least it looks nice. I'm just gonna go in the spectator mode just to see what it looks like. Maybe that isn't big enough cave scale from the honest. And too big. I mean, not big enough rather. If it's being big on 63. These have huge caves in places. Doesn't work either. So it's up to you to figure out what you would want to have for like cave generation to try to have a nice system. As this isn't really a fully where that's supposed to fall step by step. As this is coding road generation, which you should be trying to do yourself and adding some small things in. I'm also going to be looking into it, going to code my own cave generation system for this. Actually, I may not include next tutorial. Probably going to try implementing a better noise for it. As you can see, this is how it looks. Not the best. If we set this to 1, after the one we originally had. Take it out of here real quick. I think it's a bit better. It's not perfect, but once again, it's up to you to figure out how to get the generation system done, play around this noise, make it nice. I'm gonna spend a few minutes trying to get a good system for this up, good noise, and I'll probably show it off and show you the code for it, but yeah. One small adjustment I do want to make is actually I just want to have the should spawn equals oops. So copy this. I can copy with row. Copy and then paste. I'm still getting used to the oops. Anyways, and then we can just do if should spawn should spawn, and should spawn. Now it's more optimized, but it also makes it easier to change the equation. So we can probably do y divided by 5 or something. So what am I doing there? Let's actually set this to 0.2. I think that will make it a bit better. One second means going with dirt. Over there. I think it's a lot nicer to have like actual caves and some points. These games should play around these values to find something that fits. Maybe spawn point up to like high. Maybe even better if we set the cave seeker to 0.2. There. And much smaller, much bigger caves. Kind of like ravines in some cases. That looks pretty cool. And of course, once again, you can change these values, try to look up your own ways of doing it. I know putting rooms is basically just put a noise, I'll do that. And let's see what else there is here. Yeah, that's the only cave we got. So we got like a nice tunnel here. It's just it doesn't really curve around too much, so we can set this to a sort of a cave there. So I think if we have the cave spawn rate lower, we actually make it more frequent. That's my main issue there. Got a really nice cave there. And of course, you can also combine multiple cave algorithms. And let's say you wanted a combo of and say, God, I keep messing up with the Vim stuff. Copy, and then I know it should be Vim keybinding for it, but I haven't learned it yet. So let's make this divided by 5 and this by 2. And this should make it like just caves going both ways, hopefully. I think it's pretty nice, I would say. Let's try again, try another seed. Bring it to here, and we have a nice cave by the looks of it. We can change the cave scale down to like 0.12. Maybe make more of them. That's a nice cave. And we actually have intersection between them here by the looks of it. Maybe it's this turning. It looks really nice now. So once again, put on these numbers. Maybe you don't want the caves that wide, so I can change this down to 4 and 4. Maybe make the cave scale 0.06. I'm just going to be putting on these numbers a lot. My next tutorial, I'll probably have a completely different thing set up in just different numbers, but still. This isn't too bad. It's going to cost me like 0.01. Finding good numbers can take a while, possibly combining different things. Maybe we want upward caves as well. Let's just go up and down. So I think everything is coming up pretty nicely. I really like this one. Comes and curves around here. Actually, quick thing before I end the video. I did want to mention that a few small changes I'm making is I'm adding a should spawn entrance. Basically the same thing, but it has entrance spawn rate variable, which is this. So you want to have the entrance spawn rate variable here as well, make this a bit lower, and basically replace cave spawn rate with entrance spawn rate for this. And for the dirt and this should be spawn. This should be spawn entrance. If the dirt and grass, it has a lower chance of spawning. Next, you also want to add a task.rate here as well. If math1 is task, there's one task.rate so that it doesn't have a instruction limit exceed. And next is we're going to do make it spawn in chunks instead. Make this 5. We're actually going to spawn chunks, so x times 10, x times 10 plus 10. And then once again, something y times 10. And this should be y here. Now we should have a bit different, but better of a spawning way of rate to spawn. So now it actually spawns in chunks and also doesn't have flowy time. I think the entrance spawn rate is a bit low. That's why it's spawning entrances, the caves, but it should be fine. As you can see, the time it takes to spawn chunk is a bit high, but that shouldn't matter too much. Most players I would notice care that much, as it is corn raised. It's not like many people have that. Nobody could have such high expectations for core to have a AAA tier Minecraft style loading speeds and stuff. It's fine if we load a bit slower. I got launched into orbit as well, but it's okay. As you can see, I think we just saw an entrance somewhere here. Yep, we saw an entrance going to nowhere, but yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to put this in here before the video, as is will be ready in the next tutorial. Okay. Anyways, I hope this concludes the tutorial. Um, yeah, it's going to take a while, but this means me playing with numbers and stuff. If you need help with anything, just consider joining Discord. I'm gonna be leaving people out there or in the comments. Not fast in Discord though. And yeah, have an amazing day. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.